On doing with his shoulder, and how much will he play probably Saturday?
He's doing well. He's progressing really well. He'll be fine for Saturday, barring any setbacks in the next couple of days. But anticipate him playing even maybe a touch longer. It's his first NFL game, so maybe see him in there. A series or two after the ones come out.
Maybe Tyson Campbell update.
Tyson is doing well. He's still in the protocol. Part of that is actual some practice time. So he'll be on the grass today in uniform, dressed. He'll be in an orange jersey, no limited, no contact really, and hopefully he's passes that and has a good day today.
Which Tyler Shockley, obviously, I know you have him further down the depth chart because of the heart condition. Is there
Right
any
now.
sort of timeline that you-
No, not really. It just all depends on the doctors and medication and things like that, and just making sure he's in a good place.
Doug, you had obviously Christian, Zay are all back from last year. Trevor's back. There's a lot of familiarity. How has Calvin kind of been able to step in and pick up everything and get to the level, if he's been able to get to the level with those guys?
I mean, he has definitely been one that has embraced his opportunity. Y'all understand his story and being away from football, and he's hungry and he's eager, and he's determined to get back out on the big stage and play well. And I think one of the things that makes it easy for Calvin too is to have guys like who you mentioned, right, with Trevor and Christian, Zay, Evan, Jamal. Those guys have embraced him and really welcomed him in and made him feel comfortable, and he being Calvin has really done a nice job of understanding our offense. I think we're figuring him out now. He's figuring us out. Trevor and Calvin are figuring each other out a little bit, and those are all things that camp provides a lot of opportunities to kind of get on the same page and see just how as a staff we can use him in game.
Do you want to play him a little longer than some of the other starters, or no?
No, not necessarily. I don't need to see him too much longer. So I probably won't play him much past the ones.
Hey, Doug,
The way you've used Jamal in the past, we're kind of at the point now where even if he's on the field and the play doesn't go to him, does it serve a purpose in some way? Do teams at this point always have to be aware of him and can that deflect attention so maybe you can run something else?
He's one of those, for us, kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can play every position on offense. Probably he would want to play quarterback, but we don't let him. He's good with the ball in his hand, whether it's a jet sweep or handing him. You've seen us toss him the ball a couple times, and that just comes from his his special teams background. He's smart, and it does. When you can do certain things with him, and I think defenses have to understand the type of player he is, and how explosive he is on the field. We can use him as a decoy. We can also use him as a primary, and I think that's really a very valuable asset to have in your offense.
Has what Tank's done this camp changed your idea of how big his role would be than what you had before camp started?
No, I mean, I think you still got to be careful with how much you expand his role. I think he's done a nice job. So far there's still some learning to do and some growing to do as a rookie. But keeping him kind of where he is right now is a good thing, and expand maybe as you go. We're only 2 weeks in, of camp, and there's a lot of football ahead of us. So we're just gonna pump the brakes and make sure he's good with what he can handle.
How much growth have you seen from Devon Hamilton over the last year?
A lot.
Are you pleased with where he's at? Do you think there's more to his game that can be shown on the field?
Devon really showed up, last year. That's why he got the extension. We wanted to keep him around. He's one of the guys, one of the leaders on the team, on the defense, and he's a big, powerful guy. In there as the D lineman, and he can generate some push, and that's what you want in the middle of your pocket, right? And he's really a good run defender, and so all those things, we've seen the same things, this camp with him, when the pads are on, and his physicality and what he brings to that D-line.
I think a lot of fans were a bit surprised / don't realize Blake Hance's involvement in the offensive line when he was listed as the starter at guard for Saturday's game. Can you just illuminate on what he brings to the team?
Yeah, I mean, Blake is another one that he can play a few roles in the offensive line. He can play tackle for you. He can play both guard spots. I mean, he's a swing guy, and it's unfortunately right now with Tyler Shatley's situation. Tyler would be the guy, right? But with Blake, he's earned the right to go in there and compete and get the start for Saturday's preseason game and see how that unfolds. But he's a guy that. He's a smart guy, and he's just a quiet, come to work every day and put in a good day's work, and he's really shown that he can obviously play at this level, and he's embraced his opportunity, and it's again from a coach's perspective, having a guy that can move around just a little bit gives you that versatility you look for.
Will you give Walker some run inside as well in the preseason?
I don't know if there's going to be enough reps, to do that right now.
But you will get Cam out there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And then one more, just Cooper Hodges. I know he's slated as backup sure, but have you considered also training him a little bit on that left side?
We haven't yet. Again, a young player, just trying to assume one spot, with him, and he's done a nice job. And the thing is now when the lights get a little brighter on Saturday night, that's really when you get to see, how well these guys can handle the information, but how they can handle that game.
How advanced is the back end of your roster right now?
How advanced?
The back end of your roster compared to this time last year.
I think we're in a better spot. We're encouraged by the young guys, that we've brought onto the team. And that even the young guys from last year, you look at Chad Muma as a young second-year linebacker who's going to get plenty of time, not only in preseason but the regular season. You look at the young secondary guys who are going to get a lot of opportunities this spring or this training camp. And that's encouraging, and it gives you depth on special teams. And there's some key roles there that we can fill. So. I think we're in a better position than we were a year ago, depth-wise, and it'll be difficult at the end to make some challenging decisions.
When you look at the depth in your best years in Philadelphia, whichever year that you think that is it comparable to what the Jaguars have now, or are you not there yet?
I mean, I think it's comparable. The difference I think here is that we're a little bit younger. Starter-wise too, so that's a benefit to be a younger football team there. But I do like where we are as a team with the roster, the guys that are competing, for just positions, right? Just roles, just spots on this team, and that's what I encourage. That's what I've try to get out of training camp sometimes, and have those tough decisions to make at the end of camp.
Is the best way sometimes to gauge that how many guys you actually lose to other teams and find roles there, even though.
Well, you got to be careful, right? You got to make good decisions too. You got to make sure that the guy you keep is the right guy you keep, but it tells you that if you do have a guy that moves on and ends up being a role player or possibly a starter, or somebody that can contribute to another team, that kind of tells you that your roster's healthy.
This is going to top maybe asking if your kid's a spy, but
Here we go.
the urinals in the building got a lot of attention over
I saw that. Have you used one yet?
I haven't. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Is that data that you guys are actually using, or is it for the players' own edification?
It's just for the players.
Okay.
The data doesn't go anywhere. It's not connected to Wi-Fi. I mean, it doesn't go to an iPad in the training room and tell you that you're dehydrated. No, it's they're actually it's a unique deal. I mean, it does tell you if you within probably a hopefully a relatively significant amount of hydration and fluid and all that kind of stuff. I think it's something that you can really gauge yourself, see where you're at.
You have it in your office as well?
No.
The best part of that is I made John write down the word urinal.
He's gonna ask me about it.
I know.
We're running out of questions.
Now that
Ask you about fiber content.
now that pads have gone on, how has Anton sort of looked in terms of physicality, things of that nature?
You know what, he's done a nice job. He's continuing to improve and grow. I think the college game to the NFL game is different, so he's learning a few different techniques that Phil is teaching him, and he's just going to get better with time, and more reps on the grass and going against guys like Trayvon and Josh and Caleb on. I mean, he's getting some quality work out there. So, but he's done a nice job, and he's improving, and looking forward to watching him play.
You had the first live practice at camp earlier this week. Did you like the intensity that the team had out there on the field? And did anybody maybe that you weren't expecting catch your attention at all?
I mean, the intensity was great. I mean, it was coming off of 3 days of pads, and it was, it'd been pretty hot, those 3 days, and it's encouraging to see even the health of the football team where we are. Knock on wood. And I look at it a little bit differently. I put the team in those situations because I want to see who the mentally tough are a little bit. And for the most part, everybody did a nice job. The ones that, got reps in there, those two periods that we went live, and it's good to see. You don't do it a ton in training camp, but it's also good for the defense to tackle. Ball carriers need to understand, you got to protect the football when you get hit and things like that. So, but overall, I wouldn't say there's one guy or two guys that really stood out. I just think as a team, we did a nice job handling that day.
It seems like there's a lot of second-year guys, Gary Prince, Greg Jr., Kevin Austin, who have really made a big leap. Does that give you kind of encouragement that the process here is kind of working?
Yeah, it means that they're doing a nice job handling their role, understanding what we've asked of them, and they're just coming in here and competing, and showing that they deserve a spot on the team.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.